Alright. We got 02 Spec V, Nissan Sentra. We're going to be swapping out the struts, shocks, shock absorbers, and springs well, it looks like it's got E-Box lowering springs on it, which are too soft. And we're going to be switching to the Coney yellows that I had on my previous Spec V. I just swapped everything onto this shell. So obviously what we want to do is start off by removing the tire and getting it up in the air. And get some stands underneath of it. Spray everything, all the contact points. You got 1, 2, and 3 right here. So spray everything down, lube it up, and from that point you want to get a jack underneath of the body. And since I have my side exit coming out there, we're still gonna go there. We just got to be careful. Alright, so essentially we want it to be on that little bracket there that goes to the suspension swing arm here. There's a little bracket that sticks down kind of into a point, which you can actually see right in the center of the screen, sticking down on that side right there. So you want to get the jack on that point, and what you want to do is raise the rest of the car up, and you'll see the suspension, right, the rest of the car raising while the axle stays in place. Because when we unbuckle this guy here, we don't want too much tension on it, because you could strip out the threads on the bolt, and it's going to make it harder to get the bolt out with the pressure on it. So you want to jack this up to the point that pretty much doesn't go any further, like right there. And you can see that the axle went with the car. That's how you'll know. And you want to keep it right there. Alright, so I'm going to lower it back down onto the thing there. Just a little bit. Okay. And that's where we want to keep it for now. When you get your 14 mil or 9/16, it should be 14 mil on these guys here, make sure it goes all the way up, because you don't want to round it off. It could be a pain in the ass. So make sure you tap your socket on there, get yourself a long socket, tap it on with a hammer, make sure it's seated properly. Don't use a 12 point, use a regular hex socket like that. These 12 points will tear that shit up. Alright, so you want to leave those on. You can loosen them up a little bit, but really you want to leave them on there and leave it tight. Just break it loose. And then we'll go to this guy here, which I believe is the 17. It is. So that bolt's supposed to be held with these here clips or brackets, but of course nothing goes the way you want it to. And they're rounded off from whoever did this last. So we're gonna have to get I'm gonna have to try and get a socket or something on there, or just maybe a screwdriver in between it to put some pressure on it. What better than a broken screwdriver? Get you a set of vice grips. Right over to open. Continue on. Make sure it's on there good, or it'll spin. So, alright, and for this, just to keep your hands out the way, since it's already jacked up, it's not under too much tension or load. We'll just get you like a little pry bar or something. Keep your fingers out the way, that's all. Even though it's not under much load at that point, you still don't want to get your shit caught. It ain't gonna feel good, trust me. So, we're good here. We're all loose. We're separated. Okay. Last thing to do here is get these two bolts off. 14 mil, like I said. However, if your threads look like this and are mushroomed and flat, make sure you get you a new bolt, because that's no good. Which I have a spare one, so that's what we're going to use. First things first, I'm going to spritz these a little bit. And we're going to take our strut and set it up on there and bolt them up real quick. Alright, once you sit that in there, tighten those up. You can tighten them all the way. Spin this so it sits into place. Push up till the spring compresses. I mean, yeah, till this is no longer loose, like so. And again, this, you can move down if you need to a little bit. Alright, this will keep dropping depending on where your setting is for the suspension. So we have ours so that we can adjust the ground control, right? So you want to face it the correct direction with the tag sticking out, or you know, however yours is. Mine on both are tag facing so I can see the part number and everything. But we're going to get our bolt afterwards, jack it up, or lift it up and push down on this to seat the bolt properly. Once it's in there, you're gonna you know, it's gonna pitch down a little bit, and you're gonna again push up on the coney so that you can then force this in all the way. Give it some light taps, make sure it's seated. You're gonna back thread it first, all right, just so it sits in the groove inside the thread properly, so you don't cross thread it like the asshole did whoever put the other ones on. There it is, it pops into place. Now you are good to spin in clockwise and tighten up. Okay, so we are on there. I'm gonna have to find a way to get that bolt out of there. It looks like it has a horseshoe, so it should slide out. I mean the nut. Once I get the new struts for this, I'm gonna swap it out completely. So we got the bolt, the new bolt, but I probably should have switched the nut out, because who knows, that could have been the threads could have been shit on that as well, but because it was still tight to put on. You know, which really, it's not great, but I know it's not going to come the fuck off either. So, okay. So, last thing to do is obviously put the tire back on. Our strut is complete. You can now move this, sit that back on. Now we're sitting on spring, and put your tire back on. Tire back on. Kind of drop it. Alright, there we go. All in all, it's a pretty simple install. Not too bad. I'll catch you on the next one. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification button. I'm going to hit you guys with as much as possible. Catch you on the next one. Peace.